Ever wondered how to make the perfect chocolate chip cookies? You're on the right track. Making these golden treats is not just about the ingredients, it's an art. It's about carefully selecting the right elements, perfecting the baking temperature, and getting the timing right. Are you ready to master the cookie science and bake the most irresistible, melt-in-your-mouth cookies? Buckle up, because we're about to dive. First things first, let's gather our cookie soldiers, or as you might call them, ingredients. At the heart of our battalion, we have flour. Not just any flour, but all-purpose flour. We need 2¼ cups of this powdery white magic to provide structure to our cookies. Now, what's a cookie without a little sweet? Exactly, it's a bread roll. So to avoid making bread, we'll need granulated sugar and brown sugar, 3/4 cup of each, to give our cookies that delightful sweetness and a hint of caramel flavor. Next in line, we have 2 large eggs. These are the glue that binds our cookie squad together. Then we need a cup of butter, preferably unsalted. This is the secret behind that melt-in-your-mouth sensation. For a touch of aromatic sweetness, we'll add a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now guess what's next? If you thought baking soda, you're right. We need a teaspoon of this to make our cookies rise and become fluffy. And to balance the sweetness, we'll add a ½ teaspoon of salt. Lastly, and most importantly, we have the stars of our show, the chocolate chips. 2 cups of these little drops of heaven will do the trick. Got all your ingredients? Great! Now it's time for some action. Now that our troops are ready, it's time for the real action. Let's get mixing. First things first, we're going to start with the butter. We want it soft, but not melted, to create that perfect cookie texture. Take your softened butter and both sugars, the white and the brown, and beat them together until they're as fluffy as a cloud. This process is essential to incorporate air into our mixture, which will give our cookies a light, delicate crumb. Now, we're going to add our eggs. But hold on, not all at once. We're adding them one at a time, making sure each one is well incorporated before introducing the next. This gradual addition ensures a smooth, even mixture. Next up, we've got our vanilla extract. This humble ingredient is what gives our cookies that warm, comforting aroma that we all associate with home-baked goodness. Pour it in and mix just until combined. All right, it's time to bring in the dry team, our flour, baking soda, and a pinch of salt. But remember, we're not dumping them all in at once. We're going to add them gradually, a bit at a time. This helps to keep our mixture smooth and prevents the formation of lumps. Just imagine, you bite into a cookie expecting that soft, sweet crumble, and instead, you get a mouthful of flour. Yikes, we definitely don't want that. While we're mixing, it's vital to remember one golden rule: don't overmix. Overmixing can lead to tough, dense cookies, and we want ours to be light and tender. So mix just until the dry ingredients disappear into the dough. And the final touch, the star of the show, folding in those heavenly chocolate chips. Ah, the moment we've all been waiting for. Gently fold the chocolate chips into your dough, spreading them evenly throughout. Remember, these little bits of chocolatey joy are what make a good cookie great, so don't hold back. And the final touch, the star of the show, folding in those heavenly chocolate chips. Our dough is ready, and it's time to transform it into delicious, gooey cookies. Now, what's the first thing we do? Preheat the oven, of course. We're aiming for 375 degrees Fahrenheit. While our oven is getting all warmed up, we can move on to the next step. Take a look at our dough. It's all smooth, creamy, and begging to be turned into cookies. Grab your trusty scoop and let's get to work. Scoop out a decent-sized dollop of dough. About 2 tablespoons should do the trick. Now, gently place it onto a baking sheet. Remember to leave a little room between each dollop. These babies like their personal space. Okay, our oven should be ready now. In they go, these blobs of potential, into the cozy heat. We'll let them bake for about 10 to 12 minutes. But how do we know when they're done? Ah, the secret is in the color. Look for a golden brown edge and a soft center. That's the sweet spot. Once they're done, resist the temptation to immediately devour them. I know it's hard, but trust me, you'll thank me later. Let them cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. This lets the cookies set, and it also saves your tongue from a scalding hot chocolate chip. And voila! You've just baked the perfect chocolate chip cookies. Can you smell the victory? Now for the best part, the taste test. Are you ready? This where we get to savor the fruits of our labor, and let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the taste of a freshly baked, warm, gooey chocolate chip cookie. The sweet vanilla dough, the rich, melty chocolate chips, and that perfect golden brown crust. Take a moment to appreciate the aroma, the texture, the taste. This is your creation, your masterpiece. And remember, like with all things, practice makes perfect. Each batch of cookies you bake will only get better, more delicious, more divine. So don't be disheartened if your first batch isn't perfect. Consider it a stepping stone on your path to becoming a cookie maestro. And remember, the joy of baking isn't just about the final product, but process itself. It's about mixing, kneading, and shaping something delightful from scratch. Congratulations on making the perfect chocolate chip cookies. Remember, a cookie a day keeps the sadness away. Happy baking! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below what tasty recipes you want to see next. Thank you.